What's going on, YouTubers? It's your boy Casimir here, and today we got part 2 of our Pokemon Go discussion weekly topic video, where nowadays you guys give me a topic and I'll talk about it in the comment section. You can check out last part where I talked about my experience playing Pokemon Go along with story time. You're going to be in for a treat for this one. First, I recommend you check that video out, and then you come back to check this one out. Now it's story time of me playing Pokemon Go with other people. Looking at this list I got, I think the first story involves me going to Navy Pier. This time I wasn't alone. This is actually my first time I went to Navy Pier. If you can check out the first video, you understand I got a lot of Magikarp candies from this adventure. From this story, I was hanging out with my friend Nightmare, and we do a lot of stuff with Pokemon together in real life, at least when he's in the city. So this past summer, it was me, friend Nightmare, and his little brother. We went to Navy Pier to check out the scenery there because we heard some good things about Pokemon spawning out there. So with this story is going, we kind of went to Navy Pier. I didn't want to say we had low expectations, but with this story we kind of just went there and we did one of the most unconventional things ever. We actually just sat there in a little area where there's chairs and outlets for us to plug our phones in, and this was before the days where people walked around with, you know, portables. I think Nightmare had one at the time and I didn't. I think his portable was messed up or something like that. But we were sitting around and we were just sitting there at a lure, and we were basically just spinning Pokestops, and we took turns going outside to walk around the area a little bit to see if any water type Pokemon will spawn. And at this story it's kind of funny because we were playing at Pokemon Go in this area. We kind of found a lot of weird things just spawned right in front of us, and we were just talking about normal everyday stuff at the same time. It's kind of boring to start this story off with this story, but I feel like it's a good way to segue into the stories that I want to tell about right now. Conversely, my first story is involving me going to Adler Planetarium, which is a very popular spot in Chicago. If you've never been there and you ever play Pokemon Go and you live in the city, I recommend you check it out. The reason I'm telling this story right now is, oh wow, where's my, oh there is a Nidoran. With this spot, I was given a tidbit by one of my friends. He's a good guy. Don't want to know if he wants his name to be in this video. So he knows exactly who he is. He'll be in another story pretty soon. He told me about the planetarium and how when he went there and to Navy Pier, after about being out there for a while, he get like 100 Dratini candies. So I hit up Adler one day. It was like a day after my friend Nightmare went up there before me, and he confirmed that it had some pretty cool stuff. When I first went up to Navy Pier, I didn't go up to Navy Pier, I went up to a shed aquarium, and there I took a pretty nice shot of the ocean view, and I decided to go up there to the planetarium after walking around there a little bit. With this story, I found a bunch of interesting stuff. Like before I even got into the part of the planetarium where all the good stuff happened, immediately I run into stuff like Golduck. I run into clusters of Pokemon everywhere, from Magikarp to Diglett to Staruse. I found crazy things like Adler spawning, Kabuto's, Ammonites. It was pretty insane. It was one of the greatest things ever that I've seen, and I am not exaggerating about that. My first day there, I was kind of by myself. I didn't have much expectations. They had something spawn like Rhyhorn and then Dratini, which I did find. And then here at this story, I was on my way back to like the back of the planetarium where a lot of guys went to catch stuff. And on my way there, I see like this one college girl walking by. She was looking for Dratini, and I just came from there, so I was like, you know what, I'll just tell them where it's at because we're all out here to play Pokemon Go. I did the same thing to Golduck when I first got there. Told the Asian family where to find it. So I told her where the Dratini was at. She had another friend who was out here playing Pokemon Go, and she was looking for, Polygraph is now on my list. She was looking for the Rhyhorn too, which I coincidentally just caught as well, so I ended up telling her where that was at too. And then eventually I just started playing Pokemon Go with these two college girls, and we were basically sharing information about Pokemon Go. They was telling me about college and all that. They asked me where I went to high school at, told them what high school I go to, St. Ignatius and all that. They said that they actually live near the area, and they told me a lot about stuff over there. And that was just a fun, weird Thursday to go somewhere. Is when you go up there and you're hanging out with two white girls, and then you end up getting that social media. pretty fun way to start your first adventure at a place like this place. It kind of, I guess that is why I'm not mad at a lot of guys who say they got laid from playing Pokemon Go, more so than me being frustrated that's happening to non-players of the actual franchise. But I digress. Another story that I had to tell was after these girls left, I went back up into the main area where Pokemon Go was playing. This is back in the day where people who were frustrated with Pokevision being taken down and all that by Niantic, that these people started using third-party apps to kind of be a map and everything. So when these girls left, my phone was on red, like 5%. I missed on Ekans, which is kind of common nowadays for a lot of people, but for me, never found one. My phone was dying, and then it died right before I caught the Ekans. And I was hanging out with these dudes, and they told me about there's a victory bell down near the beach. So you know what? I decided to go out there with them. I had a portable charger, and during that 2-minute run we did to the beach, I was praying that my portable charger will at least give me enough juice to actually benefit from this spawn that was happening, which was Victory Bell. As you saw from the last video, I finally got my first Victory Bell, even though there was one right under my nose at this place. My phone died again. Now I'm finally involving Squirtle. My phone died right before I caught it. And it was sad because I was with one of these guys, and it was taking forever to kind of catch this Victory Bell. I helped him catch it, and it was like at 1600 CP. And then his friend who was with him got one at like 2000 or so. And that was just a really cool moment to like have everyone help each other out in that sense. Another moment that I kind of wanted to save for, I kind of got this categorized as going to the planetarium without Nightmare. The one moment I gotta explain, I got one that doesn't involve him, and I think this will be the main event. Another story involving this planetarium was that I went there with Nightmare once. Like, this was like right after I finished school or whatever, one of these days. And when we were there, he was there before me. He told me that a Rhydon spawned right before the place, I believe. And right when I got there, I ran. I ran over there about a quarter mile, 3/4 of a mile, one of those two. And the Rhyhorn just despawned right when I got there. I was disappointed. We walked around the area a few times, and then we ran into cool things about, like, we ran into things out there like Dratini. We ran into some Kabutos, Almastar. I don't think we ran into Kabutops out there. I don't think it's in my map. We got to meet some of these cool goons I told about earlier, who I met there the first time I went. It was kind of fun to see those dudes. Don't want to give them any names here. And during these times, we found a lot of crazy stuff. I think I have screenshots up here. We ran into some pretty wild stuff. We ran into some Growlers, ran into some Vulpix. We ran into a lot of Abrith. One time we ran down towards the beach area where we caught Vileplume. It was a really cool area because it's based on phone activity for Pokemon Go. If there's more people in one area, you're more likely to find crazy stuff out there. We ran into a lot of cool stuff because there's so many people playing out there. At least 100 a day were out there every time I went. This place is also crazy because I heard that late at night, like around 8 or 9 when the sun sets and all that, they'll have Pokemon Go parties out there where people will bring Bluetooth speakers, people will bring drinks, they'll bring food and whatnot, and they'll have their own party out there, and it'll really be buzzing outside. Unfortunately, I never was able to go out to any of these parties, but my friend Nightmare told me that at one of these parties, someone yelled out, "There's a Dragonite there," and then when people found out that he was lying, they actually beat up the dude. And that did not surprise me whatsoever. And these are people out here who, if you said that there was a rare Pokemon nearby, they will hop down from a 10-foot ledge or whatever, and they'll start spinning towards it. Like, whenever there was a Vaporeon there, it lasted for about 30 seconds. I tried to catch the Vaporeon, ran out of Pokeballs. This Vaporeon had 3 question marks in front of his CP. I went to the Pokestop to get Pokeballs. Come back, it's gone. That crushed me. It was really, really sad. There's a lot I could say about this place. I may actually say that for another video in terms of talking about hanging out with other people. Like, I went up there the last time I've been, and I saw these dudes who I met like throughout all my times there. Like, they're all just coincidentally there. It was funny. I'm 18, so of course I was the youngest one at this place. At the time I was 17. And these dudes, they're in their 20s and whatnot. One dude who was there for a while told us that there was a Charizard there at this planetarium, like an hour before we all got there, and he was on his way leaving because he said that he had a date with some girl who already paid for a hotel room. So I was like, yo man, more power to you. Shows you all the cool guys you can meet out there. I was hanging out with this one dude. Instead of giving out his name or anything, I just call him Fred. You know, Fred was out there and he had his friend. We'll call him Derek, his friend, and his other friend was out there. We'll call him Tony. These dudes are out here, and after their first time being out there for the planetarium, they came prepared. These dudes came out here, and they were, when I say prepared, they were prepared. These dudes had a bag, and in this bag, they had liquor bottles out there. They had a big jug of, like, mango juice or whatever, and then they had this hardcore liquor with it, and they started mixing it. They had bags of ice with them. They were ready to play Pokemon Go and have a good time, if you know what I mean. Of course, I didn't partake in any of that because I was the youngest one in the group who was hanging out with them, so they didn't let me, of course, drink because I'm underage. But one of my favorite moments with this story is that this is the story I want to talk about. One of the guys, he had the app with him where you could track down Pokemon that was in the area and all that stuff. You know, the Pokemon vision I just spoke of earlier. This is a different version of it. Quick attack type of thing. Nice. This dude decided to open up his app, and then he said that those are Dratini near the docks of Navy Pier. I don't know if I got a picture of it. I'll look for it. If I don't, I apologize. But basically where that dock was, it was over a mile and a half away from where we were. They had a leak in the bag or something, or the ice melted. So while we were standing around waiting for them to clear out the bag or everything, this one dude who had the phone told us just go ahead without him, and he'll catch up to us later. He didn't catch up to us, but when he said that, we all embarked on this crazy run towards this dock area to find a Dratini, a single Dratini. We decided to just run and run and run and not look back, basically. And during this run, it felt like it was a great adventure because we ran. We had to wait for cars to come by. After they came by, we ran some more. And then when we found out, we got to the docks. We had to run down a hill. And when we ran down a hill, we had to hop over a gate. And when we hopped over a gate, we had to run down for a good minute or so down the docks near the edge of the water. Where if you slipped, you probably could have fell in the water. And when we got there, we actually found the Dratini. And then we all caught it. This day, my GPS messing up. So thankfully, Dratini, my character was further ahead than it should have been. And he found Dratini before they did. So I didn't have to go any further because one, I can't swim, and two, I'm not a big fan of ledges. So that was just one of the cool stories to have, where you can say that you've been on this great adventure with guys to go find a Pokemon. Some people say we went over the top with it. You know what I'll say? I think we did not go far enough. I feel like if that Dratini was in the middle of the ocean, we would have borrowed a boat, which we actually joked about once, where a guy said, "Oh, the Pikachu in the ocean," and we all joked that, can we borrow someone's boat to go catch it? Let me see what my aber count is. I don't know if... Let me see how I'm going to finish this video off. Like I said, the evolutions were the back of my mind more so than actually evolving. So, you know what? Nah. I'm just going to drop one more evolution, and I'll give this one last story. It's probably not the greatest way to end off the video, but this story I was playing with my friend, the one who told me about planetarium and Navy Pier and all that stuff. We were leaving this little event that we had at our scholarship, where it was kind of like reinforcement and all that, involving school and all that. So when we were leaving out, we were just playing Pokemon Go on our phones because we're both Pokemon fans. On our way to our respective stops and everything, on the map we saw that there was Dratini there. I think we both caught it, and then a Gyarados showed up on our radar. With the Gyarados, it was really weird because we really weren't prepared to find the Gyarados, so we ran down this bridge over this river under us. When we ran through the bridge, we realized that we're kind of in the middle of everything. So we decided to split up. I decided to go to the right. He decided to go, and he went to the left. Because from this middle bridge, we were at there 2 more bridges, one on the left, one on the right. So we both ran down these other bridges to kind of look for the Gyarados. When it turned out that it was on my side, I decided to call my friend, and I told him that the Gyarados is over here. And while waiting for him, I guess the Gyarados just despawned, and that was so heartbreaking. Because the Gyarados is right there, it's under our noses. Who knows, maybe if we walked a little bit further, I could have found the Gyarados, and I wouldn't have had to wait over 6 months to evolve one, finally. But I think that's a great way to end off the story, with me coincidentally just evolving a Horsey into a Seadra. Alright, and that is the end of it with 3, 2, 1. 27,000 experience from that little session. I know it's way more than that. But yeah, everyone, thank you all for listening to this story time. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I should probably stop the recording on my phone. There we go. If you like what you hear, leave a like down below. If you have any topics you want me to talk about involving Pokemon Go, involving YouTube, or anything, I recommend you guys leave it down below. I'm open to talk about any topics. This is going to be a weekly thing. So whether someone leave a topic or not, I will find something to talk about. But if there's something you really want to hear, I'll give my best to make a video on it. This time I had notes, so it's less awkward for me to talk about some of the things that I did compared to my first videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. You kind of got a little insight into my life and how I play Pokemon, not only through the video games with the handhelds, but you also hear about why I love Pokemon Go and why I'm still sticking to it up until this point, because you get to hear about some of the crazy things that I personally got to experience with this game. Be sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to this channel. Follow my Twitter and Twitch, because I am going to be doing more of those. And I gotta get out of here. The gates are all open, and I guess I gotta go close them. So, bye.